DC, Maryland, Virginia, what's going on? It's your boy Rodney Rakai. Thank you for locking into another episode of Direct Access. I have here with me today an author, motivational speaker, father, Navy veteran. You run the gamut, man. Mr. Rob Hill Sr. What's going on, beloved?
Hey, how you doing, man?
I'm amazing. How you feeling today?
I'm good. Appreciate you having me.
Thanks for coming. First and foremost, I got to congratulate you on all the success, man. It's rare in these times that somebody can catapult up the ladder of success so quickly for something so positive. What is it like for you to make this rapid descent into success, man, for being positive?
Well, it's a little quote by Tim Reed that said it takes 15 years to be an overnight success. And for me, it's been a good 6.
Okay.
So it took me 6 years to be this overnight success. And it's just been beautiful. I've been enjoying, the interaction with new people. A lot of people embracing my words, because I started with a contact list, an email contact list of 22 people. So I'm at almost 400,000 now.
Sheesh.
And I started in 2008. So in that span, just growing that growth,
right.
I just been taking it one day at a time.
That's exponential growth. I can't even really fathom that.
Yeah, you don't plan for that.
Yeah,
you don't plan for that.
That's crazy. You've taken over my Twitter timeline and my Instagram as well. Because every morning when I wake up, all the young ladies who look amazing, by the way, are retweeting or posting something that Rob Hill Sr. Has said. How did you take over social media that quickly, man?
I think it was, I'm going to say truth. It's more me. I mean, it's more God than me, put it like that.
Okay.
But I think it was just the truth. It was the way I expressed myself. I think that our generation related to that.
Gotcha.
I'm not talking your 90-day rule stuff. I'm not talking your, you know what I mean? I'm not throwing that out there. Right. You know, what I'm really saying is be true to you. Be true to me, and let's see what we can do. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's not guaranteeing a happy ever after, but it's giving us some possibilities.
Okay.
And I think that approach has related to a lot of people. Okay. You know.
Now your truth has changed a little bit, I would say, since your days in Chesapeake, Virginia.
Yeah.
From the standpoint of you're not the same person you used to be. No. You know, you've grown. You know, you're a little bit more couthed.
Right.
You're a little bit more refined.
Right.
What was the defining moment for you when you decided to stop being a knucklehead and really start focusing on sending these messages of positivity and empowerment?
Well, I knew that at some point, all right, January 19th, 2008, my son was born. I held him for the first time, and I felt nothing but shame.
Right.
And when you hold your kid for the first time, you're supposed to feel ecstatic, like this is you, this is a part of you.
Yeah.
But I wanted to hide from him. And that was the day where I decided that I needed to be somebody he can look at and be proud of. And from that moment, I decided that I started reading more, I started writing more, but I got to keep my word. I got to be somebody that he can look at and say, all right, I aspire to be something like that. You know what I mean? Because you can tell him all the right things in the world, but they always say your kid is going to do what you show him before he ever does what you tell him.
Yeah.
You know, so it was like, all right, I got to show him. And I got to be somebody that where he looks up, he's like, that's my dad. You know what I mean? That's my dad.
I totally get it, because I had a kid when I was about 21 years old, my son Dylan, who's 5 now. And when he was born, I became a lot more conscious of the subliminal messages that are being sent out and put into my mind, be it through media, through music, through Hollywood. So I learned a lot of lessons, but I don't encourage anybody to have a kid in order to achieve enlightenment. You know what I'm saying? So how can we go about the task of teaching our boys, our sons, and even our family, our community, the lessons that we've learned without making such a life-altering? It was a mistake for me. I can say that. It wasn't planned. It was a mistake. How can we teach them the lessons that we've learned, but to avoid the mistakes that we've made?
Well, it starts with giving back now. And my thing was, if I made this mistake at 25 or 20 or whatever, then the guy coming after me, he should make that mistake at 13.
Right.
And it's my responsibility to make sure that he gets, if he's gonna have to make it, he needs to do it earlier. So, to where it doesn't take him as long to grow. That way, if I made it here, he gets a chance to make it here, and then he gets a chance to make it here. It's about, like I always tell people, if we wait till we got it all together to give back, then we're gonna be too late.
Absolutely.
I started a foundation called the Thousand Kings Foundation. And it was basically my chance to, one, give back. We gave $10,000 in scholarships on June 1st, but it was also my chance to interact with young people, with young men. Like, look, yeah, you don't have to do all I did. Like,
Right.
I know you want the, you know, we want the war wounds. We want to be able to say, I went through this, I went through this, I went through that. But why not?
It's
I
unnecessary.
did it smarter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
to me, that's where I'm at now. Like, I did it smarter. Like when Jay-Z said, I don't want the bright watch, I bought the night spot. Like, that's, you know, that's what you want to think about.
Absolutely.
You know, but it's that next level thinking that that we have to put out there. You know, and that comes from our experience.
Absolutely, man. Man, you sound like that's what I be thinking. That's what I be thinking. You had 2 books that you wrote. One was called About Something Real, and the second, for single people who still understand the value of relationships, went #1 on Amazon on their relationships list, which is dope. What are your experiences in love and relationship that allow you to be so insightful about the topic?
I just got it wrong a lot, man.
Trial and
When
error.
I tell people I got it wrong a lot, you know, I got it wrong a lot. But one thing with me is that God gave me an extremely strong heart. You know, I have and I'm optimistic. You know, so if you add a strong heart and optimism, you're gonna keep trying to get it right.
Right.
You know, like we want somebody to share these ups and downs. We want somebody to share these. You know, like it's a natural desire of ours. You know, and I'm not no punk. Put it like that. You know what I mean?
You're not scared of love.
Listen, I'm gonna try. You know, but I'm gonna try because it's something that I really want. You know, and it's something that I feel like I deserve. But also, I want my son to see it. You know, there are studies that show that the people who have healthy relationships are a result of seeing one. You know, so if I ever want him to love the right way, he has to see me do it. You know, so it was just one of those things where it's like, all right, everything that I want him to be, I have to become. You know, and that's he's a reason for a lot of my motivation in a lot of areas because he woke me up.
Yeah,
you know, like
yeah.
I was sleepwalking before, but he woke me up. But like I said, I just got it wrong, man. Being selfish, being prideful, thinking I know it all. You know, all these things that I still make mistakes at today. But it's like once I put it out there, then you get an opportunity to hold me accountable. But once you read it, I get an opportunity to hold you accountable too. So now iron is sharpening iron. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And like you said, we have an opportunity to put those childish ways away, but you can't do it on your own, man.
Absolutely,
You know,
absolutely.
So it's just one of those things where I was like, all right, let me just put this out here.
But our generation is a little bit different because we have social media monitoring our relationship.
Right.
Our parents didn't have to go through that.
Oh, yeah.
And so for you, I don't know your current situation, whether or
Right.
not you're with someone or not, but how do you kind of get away from putting all your information as it pertains to your relationship on social media and avoiding the people who are trying to infiltrate your relationship via social media?
Well, I think the discretion is key. It's just one of those things where you get what I show you, you know, and it's when I want to show you.
Right.
It's not just because you demand it. You know, it's one of those things where my mom was like, what happens in this house stays in this house. So I carry that to social media because once you throw it out there, it's out there. You know, you can't pull it back. You can't reel it back in. You can try to dress it up as much as you want. But my thing is like, all right, you know, once I show it, I need to be sure of it.
Okay.
You know, and that's just the same thing, you know, before my writing. Like I wrote a whole bunch of pieces in private that I never shared with anybody, you know, but once I became more confident in it and I was sure of myself, here, you know, you can have more of it now. But, you know, like I said, I protect it. You know, I nurture it. Like before, I ain't show pictures of my son till he was 1.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it was just one of those things where like you know, you protect it as long as you can, and then hey, you know, then it shows itself. You know.
Got you. Speaking of like not being able to pull something back once it's on social media, I look at a lot of the kids today and I feel kind of sorry for them to a certain extent because when we were growing up, we could get into an altercation or a fight, and if we lost, we just took the L.
Right.
Nowadays, their pain, their agony, everything they go through is being documented via social media. And I think it's a little bit unfair, but a lot of these kids today they're a little bit fragile, you know, when it comes to dealing with fear and doubt and all the things that negativity that social media can bring sometimes.
Right.
What's the advice you would give these kids who, you know, are struggling with overcoming the negativity on social media? Because I know you get negativity on social media a lot, man.
Well, it's all about knowing who you are. You know what I mean? I tell people, even though I write about love, I've never been weak enough to care about being called soft. You know what I mean? Like even I can write about love all day, but I've never been weak.
Right.
You know? So
Right.
I don't care if you call me soft. I already know what I am. But I think a lot of it is knowing who you are. You know, knowing, you know, what you want to be. So if I call you stupid a million times, you know you're not stupid, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what I say. You know, but it's a lot of these, our generation has a lot of we're underdeveloped in a lot of ways, you know, as far as, you know, what to give, what to receive, what to pay attention to, what to not, because we have so many distractions and we think we got to get it right in every area.
Right.
And we don't, you know. So it's really, you know, take it one day at a time. Understand who you are, you know, and what you want to give. And, you know, the rest is, everybody ain't going to like it.
Yeah,
and
this
it's okay.
This is true.
But it's okay, everybody, because listen, if it was only one message and one messenger, then God would already pick them. But we all have different paths and stuff, because my testimony is the answer to your test, and your testimony is the answer to his test. And, you know, that's just the way it goes. So we just got to take it all in stride, you know, but know who you are, you know.
Yo, you really are who you are, yo. Like, you really are who you are. Like, I'm gonna say this, when I first saw your name pop up on social media, I'm like, oh, this guy just trying to get chicks, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just the natural perception. But you really are and think the way that you present yourself on social media, which is dope, because a lot of people are not like that. There are a lot of fakes and a lot of phonies out here. So I appreciate getting this experience and kind of understanding how your thought process works, man.
A lot of guys not going to sit down with you, you know, because it's easy to imitate a certain way on social media. That's why I like getting in front and being able to talk to people and being able to interact with people. Because, you know, like I said, the words don't show it all, you know, but if you sit down face to face and you get a chance to talk and ask these questions, you know, in an unscripted interview, you get a chance to feel the, you know, the realness of it.
Absolutely.
And I think that genuineness and that sincerity is what's helped me. You know, it's what allowed it to grow. You know, because I ain't the best writer. I ain't Shakespeare. You know, I'm not Hemingway or any of these people who are polished, you know, beautiful writers. You know, my sentence may have 3 commas in it. And, you know, and it's just one of those things to where I write it how I would speak it and people embrace it that way.
Gotcha.
And I think that's the only way it's grown, you know, because they know, like, all right, he's still rough around the edges. You know, but it's real, you know, and when it's real, people gravitate towards it.
Absolutely. So you're embarking on the Brothers with Beards tour with Kenny Burns. It's like, that's not the name of the tour. The name of the tour is Living Life for a Living with Kenny Burns, man. What is the mission of this tour, and how did this tour come about?
Well, it's so many. We call this tour the refresh for a lot of people. And it's like, people wonder how I live the way I do. You know, like, how are you doing it? You know, that's just what people ask me all the time. And when I met Kenny, I'm like, how are you doing it? You know, his title's a lifestyle specialist. You know, I'm like, what do you know, what is that?
What does that mean?
You know,
exactly?
And so many people want to know what you do, but it's really, our lives are the result of thinking out of the box. And that's what we want people to get from the tour. You know, like, we have pillars as far as love, loss, life, and legacy. And that's where we want to kind of get people thinking out of the box in every area. You know, what you lost there was so you can be able to receive something here, gain something here. You know, and that's basically the goal of the tour. You know, to kind of give people refreshed, to be like, all right, look, that dream is real. Regardless of whether I tell you it's realistic or not. It's real because it's in you.
Right.
Bring it out. Do whatever you have to do to make it manifest. And I think that when they see us, you know, and they get a chance to feel our energy and hear our message based off what we've been through. Because, you know, I'm 26, but he's 40. You know,
so
he's 40, which is
man,
crazy,
black
right?
don't crack, man.
He's 40, you know, but it's just one of those things where he has a wealth of experience. You know, he started on Motown, did the Rockefeller, did Bad Boy. You know, he has that experience, but also, you know, I'm young. You know, I'm in this generation. I'm in, you know, so we can hit you, you know, from multiple ways, but it's also, he was the nightlife entertainment. I'm more of the daytime inspiration, you know, but it's clash, you know, but you know, and we bring it together in that balance, All
right, so 2013 is about to end, and going into 2014, there are people out there who want to emulate your success. Not necessarily what you do, but just your level of success that you've been achieving so far. What's some suggestions or advice that you would give them in order to pursue their dreams in the way that you've been pursuing yours?
I think the main thing is understanding that it's not about us. Like, granted, my name gets some notoriety, right? You know, but it wouldn't have any significance if it didn't serve people, you know? And I think that that's the only way we would really achieve the level of success we want, is how we choose to serve. I give every day. That's all my life is about, giving, you know. But I found my niche, how I would give. You know, some people give through music, some people give through rapping, some people give through sports. You know, it's just that thing, but it's understanding that you are significant and I am significant.
Dope.
And you have a divine purpose. You know, you've been given gifts and talents, and you have to tap into that. And granted, those are three different things: your gift, your purpose, and your talent. Those are all three different things. They're not the same. And when you understand what each one of those are, then you can start employing those, you know, and getting closer to where you want to be.
Right.
But a lot of people, like I said, we have, our generation is the jack of all trades generation.
Yeah.
You know, but we don't master pretty much anything.
at all.
You know, my thing was before I got in front of anybody to speak or to even try to write a book, I was like, Rob, you got to prove to yourself that you're a writer. So I had to write every day for 3 years straight, and I had to have it out by 9 a.m. Every day, 3 years straight.
Setting
it was that
deadlines and beating on your craft. Okay.
Yeah, it's just one of those things.
Pay attention,
and, you know,
folks.
you want to hone that craft, but I had to prove it to myself.
Right.
You know, it was one of those things where I had to prove it to myself. But, you know, you got to know who you are, where you are, but where you want to be, who you want to become. And then you just start chipping away at it, you know? Like I said, it took me 6 years to become the overnight success that
Right.
people see,
Right.
you know?
Cool, man. Well, I appreciated the time sitting down and being able to chop it up with you. You guys listen a lot to what this man right here has to say, man. I have a feeling that he's going to be our generation's, can I say Steve Harvey? It's like, nah,
Look,
man. You are.
I want to grow with the generation, period. However, you know what I mean? However way I can. If I can influence people the way Steve has, then great. You know what I mean? But if I can do it on another level, then cool. You know, I prefer to combine Tupac and Martin Luther King, but
Okay, all right.
we could say Steve Harvey too.
Bet, man. So stop hating on my man Rob Joe Sr. on social media too, man. This guy is 100. He's solid. Appreciate you, fam.
No problem, man.
Then
Thank you
we
for
out
having
of
me.
here.